Welcome back to the High School Sports Zone. I'm Todd Freed. Over the course of a football season, you might come across some great comeback type of stories. But safe to say, the comeback story of Klein-Kean senior Jacob Munoz is as remarkable as it gets. Jacob's fight, as it came to be known, has been the rallying cry for an entire high school community.
Hey, Red Cane on 3. 1, 2, 3.
It's the final game of the regular season, and a win for the Klein-Kean Hurricanes would put them in the playoffs for the first time in school history. For senior linebacker Jacob Munoz, a moment like this seemed all the more surreal, given what Jacob was first up against as a 13-year-old 7th grader.
They diagnosed me with a rare form of leukemia. It's Philadelphia chromosome positive ALL, which is acute lymphoblastic leukemia. So at first, my white blood cell count was extremely high. The doctors told me they'd never seen something like that before.
And so, after a 2-year fight against the leukemia, Jacob would ring the bell, signifying he had beat the cancer. He was even cleared to play football right before his freshman season. But in a cruel twist of fate, 10 months later, the cancer had returned, aggressively spreading to Jacob's bone marrow and well beyond.
It was the same form, type of cancer, but it was, instead of just being in my bone marrow and blood, it was in my spine and brain also.
The devastating news hit home for the entire Klein-Kean community, including Hurricanes head football coach James Clancy.
His situation with the second round of leukemia came as our school was opening, and his story is very much embedded in the opening of our school. And watching his demeanor and his fortitude, his grit, through the whole process was very inspiring to all of us, and you definitely felt that he was a special individual with a special spirit about him and the way that he went about his business.
The business at hand for Jacob was to remain hopeful and strong.
At first it was like how everyone else would handle it. They cried and everything, but after that I just kept believing that everything was going to be good.
But the battle ahead would be so much tougher than any football game. Over the course of nearly 2 years of aggressive treatments, Jacob's locker would remain untouched, signifying a symbolic and strong belief in his imminent return.
I remember, I'll never forget where I was. His mom called me and told me that she had called me and told me that it was back. And my first reaction was to make sure that he knew that he was never going to be alone throughout the whole thing. That he had a team, he had a whole program, had a whole school community, a whole district community that was going to be behind him and continue to support him, and that we fully expected him to be back with us.
The hashtag Jacob Fight and Jacob Strong became a rallying cry across Klein-Kean. Those who knew him were flexing their muscles in support of Jacob Strong.
The community, at first it just started off with my teammates and then it just branched out through my whole small Klein community. And then also my faith in God, it just helped me out a lot.
It's awesome because I got to see firsthand what true perseverance really is, and I think it brought my whole team together, brought our whole school together, and I'm so grateful to have been around him.
With an unyielding faith and determination, Jacob's second go-around in battling cancer would necessitate another 11 aggressive rounds of chemotherapy to get the cancer in remission, which it did. He was hospitalized for months at a time. Then in March of 2018, Jacob would also undergo a life-saving bone marrow transplant from his 11-year-old brother, Christian.
It was awesome. I don't know how to give him back, thank him.
The transplant would be a success, and Jacob was soon declared cancer-free. He returned home to an emotional and joyous homecoming. This past September, 18 months following the transplant, Jacob was given the go-ahead to play football again, rejoining his teammates for his senior season. In week 8 of the season, Jacob would see his first game action in nearly 2 years.
I couldn't put it into words. I finally, because I've been trying to reach that goal for the longest. It was just amazing being able to get there.
I don't know anybody tougher, and it really puts everything in perspective of what people go through day to day, and you think that what you go through is challenging and you think that you have hardships in life, but to see somebody that you're close with, somebody that you interact with all the time go through cancer, fight it twice and beat it twice, it really shows you that you can do whatever you put your mind to, and if you have faith in God like he did and have great people around you who support you all the way, really anything is possible.
For those of us that are with him day in and day out, the feeling of fulfillment that we all had, that we were able to help that dream come true for him was pretty awesome.
Awesome and even triumphant just 3 weeks later, as Jacob and his Klein Cain teammates celebrated a playoff-clinching 21-20 victory. And as Jacob's biggest victories certainly extend beyond the playing field, the Klein Cain Senior offers a message of hope and inspiration to others.
Just to not give up, to keep having faith, and to just believe that everything will be all right.